Hey, this is Matt with Alpha Analyst, and in this video, we're going to go over how to copy and paste data in Microsoft Excel. So copying is pretty straightforward, but when it comes to pasting, there are a wide variety of different ways that you can paste. So we're going to cover that as well as different shortcuts that you can use. All right, let's get started. So if you see this first line right here, so it's in row 5, you'll see some data. So it says data, and then this says 1 plus 1, which is obviously equal to 2. So if we want to copy this data and paste it somewhere else, the first step is to copy it. So a good shortcut to copy is Ctrl+C. So if you type in Ctrl+C, you can see the border change around it because we just copied it. Another option is to highlight the section that we want to copy, and then you can right-click and choose Copy. So once we have it copied, we can paste it. There are a couple ways to paste it. One way is to do Ctrl+V. Another option is to right-click, and on the paste menu, you can choose this first option, which says paste. Okay, so we just pasted it, and you can see that it pretty much looks the exact same as the original data. Let's next talk about pasting values. So you can see this right here. This data has red text and a yellow background. What if we only want the data to transfer, but not the formatting? Here's what we can do. We can highlight the section, right-click and choose Copy, and then let's paste the values. So we can right-click and then come down here to where it says values. And when you paste the values, it simply has data here with no formatting. And instead of saying 1 plus 1, it instead has the actual value, which is 2. What if we wanted to paste just the formulas? So here's how we would do that. We would highlight the section that we want to copy. We would copy it and then come down here and we can choose this option right here, which is to paste the formulas. And you can see that now the formula, the 1 plus 1, that actually carried over. That's different than the paste values. So for the data, it didn't make too much of a difference because that's just text. But when it comes to paste values versus paste formulas, you can see that there was a difference because with the paste values, it just gave us the value, which is the number 2, as compared to under paste formulas, it actually had the value equals 1 plus 1. Okay, transpose is kind of interesting. Let's give ourselves a little bit of extra space for this. So when it comes to the transpose menu, you have the ability to have the data show up sideways. So if you notice here, there's data, and then there's the number 2, which is 1 plus 1 equals 2. When you transpose it, you can actually have it flipped. So we're going to highlight the data, copy it, and then we're going to come over here to transpose. And we'll right-click, and we're going to choose this option here, transpose. And when we do that, when we paste it, you'll see that there's a cell that's above the other cell. So instead of being left and right, they're one on top of each other. So by doing that, we transposed the data. So instead of being in a line sideways, now they're in a line up and down. Let's talk about pasting formatting. So if we only wanted to copy the formatting over, we could highlight this data, copy it, and then on the menu as far as pasting, we can come over here and we can say only paste the formatting. So here, even though there's no text in the cells, if we did type in text, it would be red. Okay, and down here we're going to paste links. So this right here, this is cell C5, and this right here, this is cell D5. So C5 and D5. So if we paste a link, it's going to give us a link to those cells. So let's copy it. And if we come down here, we can paste a link to the cells, and you'll see that this now says equals C5. And this says equals D5. And because it's linked, that means that if we change the data here, it will change down there. So if we type in new data, you'll see that that changed down there. And if we change the number here, let's say we type in 45, you'll see that that changed down here as well. So those are different ways that you can copy and paste data in Microsoft Excel. Let's also cover cutting data. So what does it mean to cut data versus to copy data? So if you cut data, that means that you're actually moving it as compared to copying it. So if you noticed, even though we copied this data and we pasted it multiple times, nothing really happened to the original data. And that's because we simply were copying it. So if you want to instead cut the data, you use the shortcut Ctrl+X, or you can right-click and choose Cut. So if we take this data and we instead say, let's cut the data, so we're not choosing copy, we're choosing cut, you'll see that the data is going to move over. So after we're done pasting it, you'll see that the data disappeared from up top here. So that's the difference between cutting and copying. So if you want to simply make a copy and keep the old data, you use copy. But if you want to move the actual data from one place to another, that's when you would use the cut command. So I hope you found this video to be useful. Thank you for watching.